Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. This is Chris, and this is We Love Comics. And I've been literally waiting all day for this comic to arrive. Of course, they said in the tracking that would be any time between 1 o'clock and 5. It is now almost 6:30 at night. So, of course, when you're waiting for something, it usually arrives at the very last second. But hey, as they say, better late than never. So I have a grail. Um, if 2 years ago somebody said I would acquire this, I wouldn't have believed them. I'm very happy. It is a low grade, but say it with me. Low grade is better than no grade. Very happy to have acquired this book, even in the grade, and it's going to be better than what you think when I show it to you. But while we're waiting for people to see that I am live, if you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. Always appreciate anybody's comments in the comment section. Let's give a shout out to all my paid Patreon members. If you want to support my channel and all the stray cats that I take care of twice a day, every day, for the rest of my life, you can join patreon.com/we love comics. You'll get your name up on this board and a shout out every single video. So let's give a shout out Sith Lord, Michael B, Kevin W, Dan L, Herbert R, Annabelle N, Jason B, Kim N, our newest paid member, Blessed. Thank you so much for joining. And then the last four, they decided for me to share some of the social networks and everything instead of their name, which if you want that done when you join, by all means, please let me know, and I have no problem with doing that. So next shout out is Kendall Kid Comics over at YouTube. We got Scott WU077 at Instagram, so go follow him if you can. Stephen L. Turk Author on Facebook, so follow him if you are able to. And last but not least, again on Instagram, Silver Age Surfer _comics. So as you can see, I'm going to be starting a giveaway once I get to 20 paid members, but I want to show everybody because there's a special that I'm trying to do. If I can get 20 paid members before the end of February, if I can get that, I will be giving away to one of my paid members an X-Men 97, which looks to be roughly between fine, very fine grade, in my opinion. This is the first appearance of Moira McTaggart, roughly about a $200 to $250 value. So the only minimum to join anyone's paid Patreon is $2. So you could do that. But as you'll see right here on the bottom of this, you'll get one entry for every $2 that you put in. So the more you put in, the more chances you'll get. If I get to 30 paid members before the end of February, of course, this year, 2025, not only will I give away that comic to one of the paid members, I will also give away one of the unopened baseball cards. So there'll be two different raffles going. And again, same thing. For every $2 that you put in, you'll get an entry. So even if you're a person that wins the first prize, you'll still be able to you're raffling for the second as well. So it's the luck of the draw. We'll do the spinning wheel, so it's not like I'm picking favorites or anything like that. So let's put on the video camera. I already see a couple of people are in. We got ex Daredevil, good to see you. We got Chris G, another Chris in the house. Welcome. I am so excited about this. Quick update. If you watch the video that I did the other day, you'll see that I acquired this. The seller said, in their opinion, it was a 6.0. Definitely was not. And I've shown it's got a color break increase that goes all the way up and down the spine. So I contacted the seller and said, we can either do a partial refund or I could send it back and you get I get my money, you get your comic back. They decided on what I considered to be a fair um, partial refund. So they refunded me a little bit over $80, which I think is perfectly fair for this book because it's probably about between a 4 and a 4.5, definitely not a 6. I mean, if they said it was a 6 and I thought it was a 5.5, I wouldn't care about something like that. But a 6 down to a 4 and a 4.5, that's a big difference in value. So ultimately, I paid $146.58 for this book. This, of course, is not the Grail. This is the one from the other day. So if you're just tuning in, this is not the Grail. I don't do clickbait videos. But this is Flash 117, first appearance of Captain Boomerang, so update on that. All right. So this is the box. Now, the funny part is, this is not a graded book. This is just an ungraded comic that actually is the reason why you notice I haven't sent out my 4 books to get graded to PGX, because this one will absolutely be sent to be graded. But this person did a heck of a job protecting this, because of course I said, especially with a book of this caliber, I want to make sure that, it arrives safely. So they did it with tracking signature verification, which I definitely appreciated. They have the stickers that say Frigilli, so some nice little French words for people to learn over there on both sides. And very happy with this. I always tell people, when you order from anybody online, don't assume they know or care about how to ship a comic, you know, to the best of their ability to keep it safe. So I always tell people, make sure you ask them or tell them in a nice way, of course, don't demand anything, of how you would like a book sent. And a lot of times they'll do it. So this person went above and beyond. So they put some cardboard to protect it. There's some bubble wrap on the bottom. There's an extra cardboard on the bottom here. I'll look through this just in case. Sometimes it's a very rare thing, but sometimes people throw in an extra comic, but they did not with this. That's fine. And then they put it inside here. So this person did an incredible job with packaging this. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that for about 2 years, I was trying to do trades for some Holy Grail comics that I didn't think I would be able to afford. So I've been trying to acquire this book for over 2 years. Didn't get it via trade, not in the grand sense of the word. And look at this. They put inside another. So this person, again, they're going to get a good rating as long as the book is in there and it's what it's supposed to be. They did a great job on this. But I did a video about 3 or 4 days ago telling some of my secrets about how you can actually build up to the point where you can buy Grail comics, which ultimately ends up in with no money costing you. Hopefully you'll check that out. Okay. So it is exactly what they said. And I made a deal with this. Normally on a Mega Grail, when I do a best offer, I usually do. I mean, I'm not trying to insult anybody with if it's a $10,000 comic, I'm not going to say I'll give you $50 for it. But I always try and go a little low and see where they'll go. And a lot of times when you're talking, especially a Holy Grail book, a lot of times they're not going to accept your first offer. This person did. I am so excited about this. So I will say it is a coverless copy, but not in the grand sense of the word. And I'll show you in a second, which is why I think nobody was buying this. So I'll get into the full detail. So what I want people to do, because I don't think there's any or many sales of this book. So I want people, whether you're watching live or you're watching later, go on eBay, because I want my viewers to get used to seeing what prices are for books. And I want you to tell me before I reveal the price of what would be the most you would pay for this. And again, I give my secrets away of how you could spend $0 of your own money. And eventually, as you build up and up and up, go from, you know, minor keys to grails. It could take you 5, 10 years, but I'm at the stage now that I've been doing these techniques since around 2017, 2018. So roughly about 7 years to finally get them. And I now have another Holy Grail comic coming tomorrow, and that one's a graded CGC book. Again, another amazing deal. So I'm going to show the book, and then I'm going to explain that it's more than what you might think it is. So here, you know what? I'll show it because they added the facsimile cover. So I'm going to send this to get graded. I'm going to have them put the this facsimile cover on it because it just is going to make it look nicer. And again, I'll get into the full detail. So when you see it, don't just shut off, because I want to explain and I want to see what people will pay for this. So my first of two Holy Grail books that I've never owned in my life, never thought I would own, is Showcase number 4, first appearance of Barry Allen, The Flash. This is the book that signifies the start of the Silver Age. Now, as you can see, it is quote unquote coverless. And that is how they actually advertised it on their auction. But here's the thing, it is technically not coverless. And if Mr. White Gloves, you're watching, I'm sorry I'm doing this without the gloves because it has the back cover. So, what that means is this book, as long as it's complete, will get a 0.5 instead of an NG because here's the thing. The seller, I don't know how long they were trying to sell it for. Okay. I'm going to put this back because I don't want anything to happen. But this book, it's got creamed off-white pages. Might as well go through it. I mean, this is amazing stuff. Coupons are all there. No writing. And the back cover, look how beautiful that back cover is. Now I'm going to explain because back in the days, back in the mid to late 50s, when a person who owned these books, whether it was a comic book store or a generic or whatever store, if they wanted credit, I want to be careful with this, they had to rip off the front cover of any unsold comic. So this book was one of those books because eventually back in the 60s, you only had to rip off a corner of, where the name was. You only had to take like a quarter of it off. But in the beginning, you had to eliminate and rip off the front cover. So this book still has the original back of this book. So even though the seller sold it and listed it as coverless, and they did a very detailed description, which I like because I've seen so many different eBayers not give any information. This person, almost to their own detriment, did too much information because by the bottom of all the things they wrote about the book, giving it some history, talking about how the front page was removed and why they did it, which I like, that educates people. But all the way at the bottom, they do state that it has the original back cover. So they should not have said coverless in the title. They should have said no front cover because coverless means the front and back because the cover is one folded piece of paper that is front cover and back cover. So if you say coverless, that means, or at least people would assume, that it means it not only has no front cover, but it has no back cover. Now, that would mean if you ever sent that into any company, you would either get an NG, which is no grade, and it would mark it as coverless, or you can also, like, for example, with PGX and CBCS, you can get a 0.3. But because this one has the original back cover and the staples are intact all the way through, including the centerfold, I can just imagine, because this book is flat, if this book had the original cover, it would probably be a 670 because the back cover is pure white, still has reflections. Now, this is a book from 1956. So I'm going to send this in to get graded. I'm going to have them put this facsimile on it. So it's going to be a 0.5 showcase number 4. Not an NG, not a 0.3. So let me ask you guys and gals, but I'm assuming most of you are guys, what would you have paid for this? Now, anybody that says $100, $500, even $1,000, you can't even get a page of this book for that. So I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking current market values. I want you to look on eBay and see all of the showcase number 4s for sale. And then I will tell you the price I ended up ultimately paying for this. And I'm just so happy that this person made the deal. They sent it right away. Their communication was amazing. And I made an offer. I was expecting them to come back with a counter offer, but they actually accepted my offer. And I really think, I like again, I said, I don't know how long they had that for sale, but I think because they put it as a coverless book in the title, people assumed it meant completely coverless. But it's not. It just is missing the front cover. So it looks like, and I just browsed through it quickly, everything is intact. The staples are attached. The centerfold is attached. The back does have, and they showed it, a little bit of a split from here to here in the back, but who cares? It could be completely split and you'd still get a zero 0.5, but it's attached all the way through except for about here. But that's not going to change the grade because it's going to be a zero 0.5. And then they will notify that it has a replica cover. So, a lot of taxes with this. I want to see in the live chat, and then later, if you're watching this later, in the comment section, tell me what would be the maximum amount you would have paid for this book, including taxes, including shipping and handling. Now, if anybody says $500 or something, that's wishful thinking. You couldn't even get the front cover of that book for $1,000. So this is not a cheap book. But again, I'm trying to teach people that you could not have millions of dollars in your bank account. You could not have, a trust fund. You could not have wealthy parents or wealthy business or a wealthy spouse and buy any books that you want. It's taken me years of slowly building up to be able to sell books at a profit, buy better books, make sure I get them at a deal, turn around, sell those for a profit, get a better book, and slowly build up to the point where now I'm starting to get grails. I originally was trying to get, and this is what inspired me to do this. I was originally had the chance to get, and it's also on my trade. I was trying to get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 first print at a 6.5. Ultimately, it was an auction. There were no bids until the last 5 minutes. So I thought I had a chance of being able to get this book. Unfortunately, missed out. So I was actually I wouldn't say upset, but I was definitely disappointed because that might have been the only opportunity for a while, knock on wood, that I would have ever had the chance to get that book because it ultimately sold for with taxes probably 9,500, and that's just above my pay grade of even with my PayPal credit to be able to use that because I don't have $10,000 in my PayPal credit. But a day or two later, I made two deals. This is one of them, and I got another one that's arriving tomorrow. And both of them, I ended up paying probably $2,000 or $3,000 less than what the current price would be. Again, not buying a book just to buy it, but buying it with a deal. So even if you had to sell it the same day you got it, if all of a sudden, God forbid, there's an emergency that happened the day you get the book and you have to turn around and sell it, you could and not lose money. So I try and stress to people all the time, who wouldn't love to have this book? But I can't afford to buy it at a $9,000-$10,000 price. I mean, a 3.5 of this book goes for about $17,000. So I don't see anybody posting on here about what they pay for it, so that's fine. But I'm going to tell you what I paid. Okay. This person had this book, and even at their buy it now price, considering the fact that, again, this is not a coverless book, even though it does not have the front cover, it does still have the back cover. So this will grade a 0.5. When I get it graded and encapsulated, I'm going to put this facsimile cover, which of course, and I have like 3 or 4 books with facsimile covers, and they do mention it, obviously, but it's going to make it that much better. Because obviously, if I ever sell it, I'm not going to try and trick somebody. It will first of all say it on the slab, but I'll mention that it does have a reproduction front cover, but it has the original back cover. Okay. So this person was selling this book at $3,900 plus, of course, taxes and shipping. Okay. But they had best offer. So I took the chance. I sent them my offer and they accepted it within probably 5 or 6 hours. I got this book. They agreed to sell me this book for $3,000 with shipping and handling and taxes. $3,226.05. Go look up what this book sells for, even completely coverless. And again, with this being a 0.5, I am thrilled to have this book. And of course, with the DC movies and everything, they say, and who knows what happens because anybody can say anything, but they say they're going to be recasting the Flash, and Flash is going to be the more comic version of him, where he's more serious and not just, some jokester. And I hope they do that because I would like to have the Barry Allen that's the very serious um, superhero and not just what seems to be some sidekick goof. But I would love to know what you think. Showcase number 4, first appearance of the Silver Age Flash, first appearance of Barry Allen, the comic that started the Silver Age of comics in 1956. Got it for $3,226.05. That includes shipping and handling, that includes taxes. And again, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have tens of thousands of dollars in my bank account. I have a video I showed just 3 or 4 days ago telling you how you can do this as well. And like I said, it takes a couple of years to build up. So if you put in the effort now, in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you could go from, getting a 0.5 X-Men 94 to having a 0.5 Batman #1. I mean, I'm not at that level yet, but I would love to know what you think. Because like I've said on my channel, and I'll stick with it, low grade is better than no grade. I mean, who wouldn't love a 9.8 of this book? You got about $1.5 million? I sure don't. So I have been excited all day knowing that this book has no front cover, but it is not coverless. So I'm going to be sending this to PGX to get graded with my 3 other books. I usually have my books already sent at this point, but I saw that the book they sent it quickly, and I saw it was going to be arriving today. So I'm like, you know what? I'm in no hurry. I'll send out the books. I'll make a video probably either Sunday or Monday about the 4 books, but count on the fact that this one's in there. And it's going to come back a 0.5 with a facsimile front cover. As long as it's complete, which it looks like it is. Like I said, I just browsed through it. The staples are perfect. The centerfold is perfect. No writing. It's got, like I said, cream. Like you can see the pages. The whole book has this kind of page, except for the back. The back cover is all white. The back cover has like a tear from here to here that splits. But again, you're not going to get a lower grade than a 0.5 with something like that. So I'm not worried about that at all. So I would love to hear. Let's see, Daredevil says, awesome pickup. I was so happy yesterday. I picked up a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 315 for $5 and Amazing Spider-Man 299 for 50. That is pretty darn good. Congratulations on that. And that's what I mean. Hunt for books, make deals happen. Like I said, they had this listed at $3,900. So that would have been about $275 to $300 extra in taxes. They did offer free shipping, which I'm very grateful for. But they had 3,900, which is not a bad price for this either. Again, because it's not coverless. It just is missing the front cover. So to have a 0.5 for 3,900 is a good deal, but they had a best offer. When I see best offer, that says they're willing to take a lower price. Most people would probably say, oh, 3,700, 3,500. I took the chance and I said, will you take 3,000 for it? Because at the worst, they'd either say no or come back with a counter offer. but they accepted my offer as is for 3,000. So it was $226.05 in taxes and free shipping. And I am perfectly fine with this book with a facsimile front cover, still having the original back cover and being graded as a zero point 0.5 for $3,226 is, I can't say a steal, but it's one heck of a below its value purchase. Tomorrow's book is going, I don't know what time it's going to arrive. I'm sure it'll be late again because they're going to make me go crazy all day. I mean, I was literally like, when my wife is, she works at home. So when she's sometimes has to take phone calls and stuff, so I'll put on my headset. I was literally all day putting the headset completely off one ear and slightly touching my ear just enough so I could hear it talk, just in case I heard the doorbell, or sometimes they don't even ring the doorbell, they'll knock on the door, and my bedroom is, or our bedroom is all the way in the back, so sometimes I won't hear it. So I was making sure I wasn't going to miss this because it had to be signed for. And again, I want people to be excited about books. I mean, who wouldn't want a 5.0 of this book, a 6.0, or even just a 1.0? But I'm thrilled to have this. I'll take a zero point 0.5 of a book I never thought I would own. And that's why I always say about when I came up with the expression low grade is better than no grade, because whether you have a coverless copy, complete coverless copy, which is a NG or a zero point 0.3, or a 10.0 of a book, either way, you still own it. So whether this is a zero point 0.5 or a 9.0, it's still you still own the first appearance of Barry Allen. So it's just a matter of, can you find a deal? I could literally, after getting this graded, it's showing that it's a zero point 0.5 complete with no restoration, which I don't think anybody would restore a book like this. There would be no need, because the majority of restorations end up on the cover, which obviously it's lacking. Um, I could easily list this for $7,000-8,000 and have multiple people wanting to buy it. So without having to do anything other than wait a month and a half to get it graded, I could literally more than double my money that I spent on it. And that's not including the fact of, like I said, with the new DC movies coming, provided they start going on the right track, and well, matter of fact, Marvel should do that, Disney should do that as well. If they bring Barry Allen with a new actor playing him, and they do a more serious role, and they do it justice, no pun intended with the Justice League, this book is just going to continue to increase in popularity. And that's why, if you're a comic collector, investor, speculator, or just somebody who wants to save money on comics, you should be thanking those that work at Disney and Warner Brothers for screwing up the past 3 or 4 years worth of entertainment in the comic community, as far as the MCU and the DCU and even the independents here and there, because they lowered the price of your Grail books, which we probably will not see again in our lifetime. Because I have a feeling, like what's happening in the world now, there's going to be an uptrend. I think this is a new resurgence of the golden age of comic book investing. So my thing is, before these, I mean, not talking about the new Captain America movie, not talking about Ironheart, because those are old projects. They're like, well, I can guarantee at Disney's like, look, it was already like 99% completed. We already spent millions and millions of dollars. We're going to just probably use it as a tax write off, but we got to put them out. I think once we get through this phase and they get directly into the new phases, I think you're going to see a resurgence in the comic book industry and in the comic book collecting industry, and prices are going to start skyrocketing again. So if you have the opportunity to take advantage of lower prices, discount on sale prices for books you may have thought you never could ever acquire, now's the time to start finding a way to make it happen. Because I don't think I would ever have an opportunity to even get a zero point 0.5 of this book for this kind of price in the next year or so going on. And again, I did a video about 3 or 4 days ago, and only about 200 or 300 people saw it, where I tell you how you could literally spend $0. Or if you actually watch the video, and I've seen people leave comments that clearly did not watch the video, they based it on 2 seconds of the video, is I show two ways you can do it. You could start out with either no money at all of your own, or you could start out with your own money at little increments. But it's a secret. And again, it took me about 7 or 8 years to build up. And this is why, like I've said, I did a top 30 video back, I believe, in 2017. I encourage everybody to look at what, at that time in 2017, what my top 30 comics were. Let's put it in perspective. I think maybe one or two of the books from 2017 that were in my top 30 were in the top 30 now, which means all the other books have been upgraded from other better key issues. So it took me years of doing this to slowly build it up. But you can do it. So I hope you'll check out the video I did 3 days ago. I hope you'll start implementing and seeing that if you put in the effort, if you have the knowledge, if you take the time, if you are positive, if you are not afraid to make deals, you can acquire things that you never thought were possible. My thing is, why doubt yourself? It doesn't make it easier when you say, oh, I can't do something, or it's too difficult, or, no one else has ever done it. Who cares what about that? Don't listen to the negative Nancy's. And definitely don't listen to the people that have $50,000 that they could play with in their bank account that they use for their FU money and can buy a $50,000 book, no problem. Anybody can buy something for retail. This book in a 0.5 is probably about a $7,000 or $8,000 book. I managed to acquire it, albeit ungraded, for more than half of that. And that's just at the current market rate. And because it looks like, and we'll see what happens after this next phase, I think the comic book movies are going to start going back to what they once were. It's just going to increase the popularity again. And that's going to increase the demand, and that's going to increase the prices. So I would love to see what you think about this. Some people would say, oh, I'd never have a copy that didn't have the cover. That's fine. That's somebody I didn't have to worry about buying it out from under me. Don't ever worry about what other people think. Like, I'm going to give you a quick example of this. One of my subscribers who buys from my auctions all the time, I'm going to give a shout out to Daniel Cochran. He's one of my moderators. He's actually the only person in the comic book community that has my phone number. I trust him that much. And we email each other all the time. And again, like, he's literally bought 6 or 7 of his own Holy Grails from me and my auctions, right? And the other day he did a video where he was showing, because he loves like horror comics and monster comics from like the 50s and 60s. And I'm watching the video. Go subscribe to him if you haven't seen him. Daniel, if you see this, put a link in the description to your channel and hopefully people will visit. But it almost seemed like he was apologizing because he kept saying, well, I know the majority of people don't like horror comics and blah. My thing is, who cares? The ones that like it will gravitate to it. The ones that don't won't. But never apologize for your piece of the pie, your ability to love something that maybe somebody else doesn't love. You could be a person that loves your bottle cap collection because maybe you got it started from your great grandfather. And it brings back memories of your family doing things together, and it holds more than a monetary value. Or maybe you have a stamp collection and you like to collect oddity stamps that may not have value as far as monetarily, but has value to you in other ways. Don't ever apologize or feel bad because you might be different than anyone. And my channel is a prime example of that. My channel is going to be different than most comic channels out there. And that's what I want. I don't want to be a cookie cutter channel that just does what everybody else does because they play it safe and they don't want ridicule or they don't want to be commented in a bad way. When I hear somebody say, "Oh, I would never buy that," I say, "Thank goodness for that, because then I didn't have to worry about you sniping it away from me or making a higher deal or buying it outright with the buy it now price and I lose out on getting it because somebody else wanted what I wanted." So I'm very happy when somebody says, "Oh, I would never get that book," or "You're crazy to buy that book." You know how many times over the years I've had people talk about how crazy I am about purchases? Go look back in around the 2017 era when I was talking about Ultimate Fallout 4. Read the comments. There were people that left comments saying, because I said back in 2017 that Ultimate Fallout 4 was going to be the Hulk 181 of the modern age eventually. And people laughed at me and said, "Oh, that book is never going to see more than $20 and you're crazy and blah, blah, blah." Well, who ended up being right in the long run? Definitely, you can't get Ultimate Fallout 4. You can't even get the second print for $20. I mean, it's not at its high point, but remember, he's still due eventually to have his own live action movie, or at least be in one, because I'm sure they'll put him in a Spider-Man movie first. And then if they get the audience like they did with the only good Sony movies in a while, the Spider-Verse movies, if he gets his own solo, I mean, that book, you're talking in the multiple thousands at that point. Take advantage of dips. Don't be afraid of them. Don't panic sell. Most people buy and sell things based on emotion instead of logic, instead of using patience. And that's why I say, even with the secrets of the video I made a couple of days ago, I tell people, if you're not willing to put in the effort, if you're not willing to do the research, if you're not willing to try and make deals, if you're not willing to lose the fear and the doubt, you're probably not going to succeed. If you can't be patient and you need everything now, well, you're going to have the fear of missing out. You're going to see this book and you'll probably spend the 3,900, or you might spend the $5,000 on the book, even if that's what it's worth at the time. I'm not going to pay full retail for a book because then it does me nothing, because then I got to hope it continues to go up because it could potentially go down. So if this book as a zero point 0.5 is worth about $7,000, give or take, even if it drops $1,000, that just means I'd only double my money. So you got to put in the effort. If in life they say you get what you give. If you give nothing, you're probably going to get nothing. But I'm trying to teach people that don't have thousands of dollars they could just throw around, because I sure don't. But you can still do it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes knowledge, it takes patience, it takes a change of attitude. And even that doesn't guarantee everything, especially right away. Life will test you, see if you're full of garbage or not. But once you break through, you're going to have things like this happen. So, again, I got a video tomorrow of Grail number 2, another book I've never owned before. I'm seeing new prices of this book going for $2,000-3,000 more than what I paid for books that are 2 or 3 grades lower. Well, 1 or 2 grades lower than what I paid for a book that's 1 or 2 grades higher. That's coming sometime tomorrow. So I would love to hear what you think about this. I hope you will check out that video tomorrow. I hope you will check out the video I did the other day. And I hope you'll join my Patreon at patreon.com/we love comics. You'll get your name up. And again, if I get 20 paid members by February 28th, I'm going to be giving away to one of my Patreon members a X-Men 97 in about an 8.0 to 8.5 grade range. So I would love to hear what you think about that by entering. And also, if you want to critique the AI art, good, bad, or indifferent, by all means, please do. Let's give our shout outs. We're going to give it out to, let's see, we're going to go with Luke, and we're going to go with you, Lu Z Wen. I don't think I've seen either one of you here before. So both of you will be today's surprise subscriber shout out. So thank you so much for that. Just in case if you're not familiar with what that means, is once this video uploads, you have the ability to leave a comment. So in that comment, because you're the surprise subscriber shout out, and you don't even have to be subscribed to get the shout out. But if you want to subscribe, if you're not, by all means, please do. But in the comment section, you can either put a link to either your YouTube channel, or if you'd prefer to put a link to one of your social networks, or if you prefer to do a link to maybe you sell something on Amazon, Etsy, anywhere, Facebook Marketplace, or if you have your own business where you want to do a link to maybe your website. I'll leave it up to you which link you want to do. Just keep in mind that it has to be something suitable for all audiences. I will not promote somebody that does like adult content or, YouTube channels that promote violence or promote like harmful pranks. So all links will go automatically to spam. This keeps away any trolls or spammers from putting inappropriate links onto my channel. Um, all links will be verified. So if I verify the link to be true and it brings you somewhere where they say it's going to be, I will approve it. So if you see a link in the comment section, it means it has been verified and approved by me. So go check them out, go support them, and let's show this community what a real community is all about. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Never thought I would own this book before. Now I own a point 0.5, and I couldn't be happier. So, and I got it at a probably a coverless copy price, even better. So, thank you for watching. I'd love to see if you'd take the time to comment. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's not you, it's not I, it is We Love Comics. I got to go get ready to start feeding the outside animals. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for all those that subscribed, hit the like button, and joined into the live chat. Go check out that video that I did the other day. Learn how you can eventually get to this point as well, and you're not spending any of your own money, building up over time and having your sales and your ability to work deals and make deals pay for everything themselves, and enjoy collecting comics no matter what you collect, and don't worry about what anybody thinks of your collection or your collecting style or your art appreciation. Go with what you love and you'll always be happy. And that's why I didn't call this You Love Comics. I didn't call this I Love Comics. I called it We Love Comics. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you'll check out the video tomorrow. Another grail, first grail coming tomorrow. And I can't wait to unbox that one as well. So you can do it. Silver Edge Surfer says Showcase 4, front cover missing at Gary Hahn. Yes. So it does have the back cover. And they did list it as coverless. So I'm sure that scared most people away because when somebody sees the word coverless, they assume that it means front and back cover. And again, the person did not benefit themselves by doing a long description where at the very bottom it says that the original back cover is still attached. So it definitely was not a coverless copy. So that probably kept people from even looking at it. But because I'm not afraid to read descriptions, even if they're long, because I want to find out if there's anything that they're sneaking in at the end, I want to make sure my bases are covered, and I want to make sure I know deals when I see them, and then make deals. And sometimes you win. So it doesn't matter if you tried 100 times and you failed 100 times. It's like asking somebody out on a date. Who cares if you ask 99 people out on a date and they all said no, and then the 100th person says yes? Do you care about the other 99 who rejected you at that point? No, you're happy for the one. So don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what the masses are doing or saying. Because, like, for example, if you try and sell a book and everybody's saying, oh, the economy's hard and nobody has money and blah, 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 and gives you all the negative Nancy stuff, remember, ladies and gentlemen, you only need one person to buy your whatever you're selling. So who cares if 1 million people don't want to buy it? As long as there's one, that's all you need. Have a great night. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Thanks for participating, everybody. I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment once this video uploads. Have a great night.